Hello and welcome to the presentation of the Career Miner. I am Caroline de Groot. I will be next year's student assistant of the Career Miner. Also in this call is Sipke de Hoop. He is the project leader of the Career Miner. And I will first give a short presentation of about 15 minutes. And afterwards, we will be available for any questions that you might have. So the Career Miner is a different miner than you may know and other than usual, and has a few key characteristics. The first one is that the Career Miner starts off with a personal assessment, and you do a personal test to find out your strong aspects, your strong suits, your improvement points, and goals you may have for the upcoming time, and the goals that you may have specifically for the upcoming time of the Career Miner. Then you discuss them with a coach, and you discuss them with two of your fellow students. Then the second key characteristic is that there are a variety of working methods. So you will be having, you will be receiving lectures, workshops. You will participate in various games and role plays, and there will also be site visits and many practical assignments. So you will not have any exams during the Career Miner. There will only be some practical assignments and some other written assignments. And there is going to be a lot of practical things, a lot of practical manners, and there's also a lot of excursions and stuff. Then the third is that the Career Miner is interdisciplinary. So all students of different degrees can join. The Career Miner is open for students from every faculty. And at the outside comes in, as I've already mentioned a little bit, experts from the field come tell us about their career paths and about the careers that they have now. So the outside comes in, they tell us about what they do, and it's also the other way around, that we will visit them and their organizations. And then lastly, the Career Miner is a practical and also a physical experience. So I have mentioned the practical points, and also the Career Miner will be physical. Also last year it was physical, and this year, regardless of the situation of Corona, it is almost certain that the Career Miner will be given in a physical manner. And it's also physical and practical in a sense that in the second block, because the minor consists of 2 blocks, and in the second block you can either choose for a team assignment, a placement, or a startup where you can bring your knowledge into practice. So the the Career Miner has a few goals. The first goal is to prepare you for the labor market, to also broaden your knowledge about various things, and to increase your employability. And by increasing your employability, we mean offering you a different, or offering you a variety of tools to, as you can say, put in your toolbox, and providing you with all kinds of skills that make you feel more confident and better equipped in the labor market. Think, for example, of workshops LinkedIn, of workshops networking, of workshops on how to apply for a job, on workshops and lectures about negotiating, and many more. Then in general about block 1. The Career Miner, as I said before, consists of 2 blocks, and in the beginning of block 1 you get to know yourself, your strong suits, and the points you want to improve upon by means of the online assessment and the following coaching interview. You also get to know the labor market and organizations and organizational skills needed for your employability. So think of workshops and lectures on teamwork, project-based working, leadership, negotiation, all things to make you feel more confident and to gain more skills to get on the labor market. And lastly, you learn to have an increased understanding of a specific theme and a specific sector of the labor market. So there are 3 different teams that you can choose from in block 1, and you really gain a lot of knowledge about this specific theme and sector. Then what you'll learn in block 2. In block 2, you really learn to apply your knowledge for all different kinds of problems. You also learn to present yourself and your expertise in this practical environment. So you will be doing, for example, as you can see on the slide, you will be making advisory reports, or you will be building on your own startup. You will use or you will practice to pitch, and you will maybe make business plans, budget plans, etc. You will also work in an interdisciplinary team or a multidisciplinary environment, depending on whether you on which assignment you choose. So depending on whether you choose an individual assignment in the form of an internship, or whether you choose to do a team assignment in which you will work interdisciplinary. Then lastly, you can really use your creativity here to form a viable solution for a real-life problem or an organization or enterprise. So especially if you do the team assignment, you will deliver a real end product for a real company that has a question for you, or that has a problem that the company wants for you to solve. Then here you can see a small overview of the career minor. You see block 1 on the left and block 2 on the right, each consisting of 15 points. And if we are going to look at block 1 first, you see humanities at work and a theme. Those are the 2 courses that you will have in block 1. So humanities at work is a course that everyone has and that everyone follows. And it consists of a lot of workshops, interesting guest lectures that tell you about the career paths. And here you can just gain a lot of new knowledge, which might be helpful if you don't know which career path you want to pursue yet. And then below skills, you see, again, the specific theme that you choose. And I will talk about them later. In which you're also going to go on exciting field trips, excursions, and also you get theme-related workshops. So not only the workshops relating to the Humanities at Work course that everyone has, but also really specific workshops for your theme. And you're going to do assignments. There are no what is it called? There are no written assignments, or there are written assignments. There are no, what is it called again? Well, I forgot. But there are a few assignments, but not a lot. You're mostly practically busy. So in block 2, you have the, you can choose of 3 options. You have the choice of 3 different options. And here, as first you can see, working for a contractor in a team project. So this is a team assignment, and you do this for a real-life client. And I have also done it last year. I've done together with my team, we've done a project for Cordate, so for a big NGO. And what we did is Cordate was curious about the what China and Turkey did in Africa. And what influences they had. So we researched all of the things that China and Turkey did in the Horn of Africa specifically. And this is an end product that we present to them and that hopefully also will be used by Cordate. And later on, we will see other examples of other project that has been done. Think of also projects for defense or for the government or for various municipalities. There are many, many projects that you can do. Then the second option is an individual assignment, so a placement or an internship. And this is something that you have to arrange yourself. So the team project, we have them laying out for you, and you can choose one and you can apply for one. So we have arranged that, but the individual assignment you have to arrange yourself. So you have to go looking for an internship yourself. And of course, there's support and there's help, and we have various sites that you can look on, but it's something that you have to arrange yourself. And ideally, we encourage you to do that before summer, because it saves you a lot of stress, and companies also have a plan for the upcoming year. So we encourage you to do this as soon as possible. Then the third option, as I have briefly mentioned before, is the entrepreneurship concept. So the option to work on your own startup. And that's only possible if you follow the theme entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is one of the themes, one of the 3 themes, and you can only choose to work on your startup if you choose the entrepreneurial theme. Then I'm going to elaborate some more on the specifics of block 1 and block 2. So the first thing that you're going to do in block 1 is to do the individual assessment. This takes place online. This is an online assessment and consists of a personality test and a competency test. And this is something that each student does individually at home. And it lasts for about 45 to 60 minutes. Then afterwards, if everyone has completed their tests in their own time, you will discuss the results with a coach and 2 of your fellow students. And here you will just, like I've mentioned before, you will just identify your stronger and your weaker points, and you will then identify also personal goals that you may have for the upcoming time, and specifically for the upcoming time of the career minor. And these goals will be coming back to throughout the whole minor. You will keep them in mind throughout the whole minor. Then also in the first block, here are some examples of workshops that you can expect. Think of workshops of how to write a resume, what to put on my LinkedIn page, how to use a LinkedIn page, how to apply for a job, and how to network. And networking is also something that you can apply in practice, because there are a lot of interesting guest speakers that you can network with. Then there are also workshops entrepreneurship, and more broadly entrepreneurial thinking, also about your own life. There are also workshops teamwork, because you will work in teams a lot. So this is really a skill that you will develop during the career minor. Workshops policy writing, leadership, negotiating, and also workshops communication and intercultural communication. And communication is also a really central thing in a career minor, a really central skill that you're going to learn. Next, in the first block, the Humanities at Work lectures. Those are the lectures from various experts from various fields. And here you'll learn also about the subjects dealt with in the workshops. So a lot of aspects, like, for example, you see on the screen, leadership, negotiating, intercultural awareness, communication, presentation. Those are all subjects dealt with in lectures and also in workshops. And next, the 3 themes you can choose from, because next to the course that everyone has, the Humanities at Work course, you have to choose a theme in the first block. So the 3 themes are working in and on governance. The second one is cultural entrepreneurship and leadership. And the third one is vrede en veiligheid, peace and security. And as the title says, it is only for Dutch-speaking students, unfortunately. I myself have followed the peace and security track last year, and I'm very enthusiastic about it. A lot of interesting people came by, experts that worked in the field of intelligence, persons that worked at the police, persons that fight terrorism, and many more. Many more. And it was also very fun because there were field trips to The Hague where we met a lot of interesting people and heard a lot of interesting things, and also excursions to the military bases that unfortunately, due to Corona, was not happening. But it is again scheduled for next year. Information about the 2 other themes and more information about the peace and security track can be found on the Career Minor page, the Career Minor website of the RUG website, so the Career Minor page on the RUG website. You can also just Google it, Career Minor RUG, and then you can find it easily. And there you can find more information about the 3 themes. Also, this presentation, this PowerPoint presentation, will be added to the website page soon. Then, about block 2. As I have mentioned before, there are the 3 choices that you can choose from in block 3. And the first one is the project assignment, the team assignment. Here you work together in a project group, ideally from 5 to 7 people, but this can differ per project. And this is really exciting because you work for a real client, as I have worked for Cordate. You work for a real client, and in the end, you have a real end product that you present, and that hopefully will be also used by your client. So here you also have the opportunity to apply your current academic knowledge, and you will be supervised by someone from inside the university and also by someone of your organization. So you will be supervised by different persons that will help you throughout the project and throughout the process. And also you have your peers to get feedback from and to learn from. So this is very interesting, also interdisciplinary. So interdisciplinary as the sense of that students can come from different study backgrounds, but it's also possible that you have to work with students from different cultures than yourself. So it's a very educational process. And here you can see some examples from a different project that have been done in recent years. So every year there are different projects, and there are a couple of, I think, 8 or something that you can choose from and that you can apply for. Then the second option, the individual assignment, so the placement, the internship. So like I've said before, we encourage you to arrange one before summer. And so you have to do this yourself, but of course we have support for you. So if you have still questions or you're uncertain where to look and what to do, you can always contact Career Officer Haag via the link that is on the screen, and then you can book an appointment with her, and you can talk about the questions that you have on the individual assignment. Here are some examples of previous placements, and as you can see, those placements are not just in the Netherlands. It's also very much possible to get a placement or to apply for a placement abroad. Then here you have some placement information. So if you are not certain where to start looking for a placement and what to do, here are some useful websites and links that you can look on to either for support or to find an internship. Then the third and last option is to work on your own startup. And this is indeed only possible if you're following the theme entrepreneurship. But it is very exciting. So then, if some things are still unclear and you do not want to ask them now, or you have any questions later, how big or how small, you can send them to careerminer@rug.nl. I have to say, if you have questions about Career Miner in general, and if you have questions about the placement, then you can write an email to the email address below. And there are a few things now, if you're interested in Career Miner, where you can think of. You have to, before you can apply, because you have to apply for a specific theme. So before you apply, you have to think of which theme you're interested in. If you apply in progress, you can apply for a theme, and then automatically you're applied and you're registered for the whole Career Miner, also for Block 2. So when you register, you don't yet have to choose a type of assignment for Block 2. So you can think of them, you can think of it yourself, because if you want to do an internship, you have to, or it's ideally we encourage you to arrange this as soon as possible. But it's not necessary to have the answer right away. So if you're enthusiastic and you want to join us on a Career Miner the coming year, you can already register in progress until the 9th of July. And you just have only to register for a specific theme, and the rest will go automatically. You're automatically registered for the whole Career Miner. So then that was it from my side. I wish you a lot of success with your choices in whether to do a Career Miner or not, and which minor to choose in general. I will now close the presentation, and if you have any questions, those are welcome. Yes, so you can put them in a chat, or you can ask them right away. And I see that someone has already his hand up. So yeah, ask away.
Yeah, so I've got a question, because I think personally, so peace and security would be most interesting, but I'm not Dutch, so that's falls out of the, yeah, that's not an option. But then also the governance theme might be interesting, but I personally, I'm an IR student, so I had policy and governance as a course. I work in political consulting as a side job on EU and German level. So would I learn that much, like, new? Would I get new input in that course, or would that be a lot of like repetition of stuff I already know?
Well, I also do IR, so that was the reason that I did not choose governance, because I thought, well, I wanted to learn something completely new. But I have not followed the theme of governance. Maybe Sipke knows, but otherwise it's on the website.
Yeah, probably the best advice is to contact Erik Sporton. He is the lecturer that teaches the governance course. But in general, I could say that, of course, these themes are specifically also focused on practice. So this means that you will be exposed to a lot of guest lectures from practice, and you will go on field trips. So you will go to organizations like municipalities or the security regions, etc., etc. And you will talk to people from Foreign Affairs or the Ministry of Defense in our case of peace and security, but also my colleague from governance has some guest lectures from Foreign Affairs, for example. So it's a complete different way of getting familiar with the theme. So I don't think there's too much overlap with, let's say, the more theoretical approach on governance.
Yeah, because IR is very theoretical. I know there are very much articles and books, and we do not have any book. It's more learning through practice. So maybe there's some overlap in subjects that you will study and that you will talk about and learn about. But I think they will be in a different level and a different manner than that you're used to from IR.
The reason why peace and security is in Dutch, because we are preparing the students for working in this field. So we have a lot of contacts with the Ministry of Defense, with the Dutch Army, with intelligence services, and you know it might be difficult for a foreign student to apply for a job within security institutions in the Netherlands, and that's why we decided to do this in Dutch. That's of course that shows you also. Sorry. That shows you also that it's of course these guest lectures talk about governance or security, and they talk about terrorism, or they talk about organized crime, or about the policy choices within a certain sector, or the security threats inside or outside the Netherlands. But it is always also practical driven. So I know, for example, within the governance theme, you have to write a policy advice. So you will be trained in the humanities at work part, also in writing a policy advice, but you bring it really into practice in the governance part, and you also are designing a project in governance. And for example, in peace and security, yeah, your end assignment or your final assignment is a role play of 2 days where you solve a security crisis. So it's all focused on learning you in practice how to deal with the topic and how it works. So how does the government in the Netherlands work in different levels?
Yeah, I mean, I also work in political consulting, so I also, like, as a side job, so I have also quite some, at least also practical experience in governance.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe I still need to consider. Also, I have.
Also, you go.
No, I would have a follow-up question. So if you still wanted to say something on that, maybe.
Well, I wanted to say, because I know a lot of students from last year who did governance. So if you want to write an email to the careerminer@rug.nl email, then I can see if I can get some contact info from the students from last year, because a lot of them also did IR. So I can ask them about their experiences with combining IR and governance. So if you want to do that, you can write an email with your questions, and I will see if I can give you a better answer than now.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you. And then I also have a kind of more different question, because I already know that I have an event in Germany that I will attend as a lecturer in October next year, and I will have to. It has like 1,000 participants, and I'm as a lecturer there. Very different topic. Like, the topic is very unrelated to IR, but I will probably have to be gone for also part of the week, not just the weekend, to prepare and to do sound checks and all of that. Is that in any way combinable? Because it's definitely something that will help my career, because I learn also how to present things. But yeah, it will definitely also be that I probably will miss at least a Friday and a Thursday.
Well, I think that it's not a really big problem, because I think it's very great opportunity for you to do. And mostly Fridays, I don't know if there are always that much things to do on a Friday, but I will have to look at Sipke because he is really the big boss. So I think because it's only 1 or 2 days and you have a very valid reason and you can, you know it in advance. But yeah, Sipke, what do you think? Oh, you're muted. You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah. Sorry. Of course, in general, we want the students are always participating because all those workshops have some relation to each other also. I mean, it's networking, it's building up a CV, it's applying for a job, you have a recruitment workshop, and then you learn how recruiters look to you. And it's the same with communication workshop. There's some sort of a follow-up, intercultural awareness, and then the communication workshops and the policy advice, and it has also always to do with what kind of group you have to convince, etc., etc. So it depends a bit when you are going, but in general, I agree with my students, with Caroline, that we always try to find a solution for these kind of things. So if I hear you, it's on a Thursday and a Friday, I don't think it's too much a problem, but it depends a bit on the theme. Because the themes are mostly on Wednesday and Thursday schedules, but it may be that I'm not sure about it. I think that governance might be scheduled for half a day on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So in the end, then you have to discuss with your theme coordinator, and that may be Erik Spottel if it's for governance, or you learn a bit more Dutch and you can join peace and security. That might not be a problem at all. And of course, you can pose your question in English, etc. But anyway, I think we will find a solution for that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I can only see your last name, Hake. Yeah, ask away.
Yes. Thank you. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So one question, is it a specific set of workshops, or can we also, or are there also workshops that we can, basically what I'm asking is, can we design our own like workshop schedule, or is it like a specific set of workshops for everyone?
The setting of the workshops and the workshops itself are presetted, so they're a vast number of workshops, and you do not have choice in attending 1 or 2 or
okay.
So yeah, they're already set, and yeah.
Okay, great. And more of a personal question about your personal experience. So having followed this minor, do you now have more of an idea what you want to do with IR? And also, do you want to follow it up with another study, or do you immediately start to work now? Like,
well, no, I'm going to do a master's also, not for the upcoming year, but the year after. And I've definitely gained a better experience, I've definitely gained broader knowledge of what is out there and what is possible. And I thought maybe I wanted to do something in the defense field. So I've also applied for a job last year in a defense direction. But now I'm not so sure anymore. I now work at the municipality of Stadskanaal in Groningen. So, and I've also applied for that during the career minor. But I personally, I've gained a much broader knowledge, and I know what's out there. But I find it very difficult to pinpoint what I want to do. We also had a lecture in The Hague about policymaking, and after that lecture, I thought, and I still think, that I'm going to end up in either policymaking or some direction of that sort. So to answer your question very vaguely, in one sense, yes, I know what's out there now. I have a broader sense of what's out there, and I think I know which direction I want to go to. And that's also why I started in the municipality of Stadskanaal, to get started in some government field. But do I know it for sure? No, but that's also part of my personality. I find it very difficult to think of such a thing. But I think in general, you get a lot of new knowledge that you did not know before. So I cannot assure you that after this minor, you will know for sure what you're going to do. But I can assure you that you have a much broader vision and knowledge of all the things that are out there, and maybe also of things that you do not want to do. That's also something. So, sorry, very broad answer. I hope you got a little bit out of it.
Yes, thank you.
Well, of course, it's an interesting and important question, and I think all the students let's say when they are third or fourth year student, they are wrestling with their future, and there's so many options. And I think if you look in the career minor from the last 3 years, you have two different kind of students who are already have an idea about maybe working in governance or in the cultural sector, or in let's say they're more interested in security. And then they choose this theme and then see what all possible possibilities in this sector, and that will be addressed, I think. But it is not an assurance that that you can work there in the end. But then at least you know, okay, I will go for this path, or I'm not interested in the Dutch army, but maybe I'm interested in policy making, or in the working in the police. And you have the other kind of students that say, okay, I'm completely lost for my future. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I can do. What are my skills? And the career minor is for both kind of students, I think, because there's a lot of knowledge transfer about skills also. It's not only about your future and what are the possibilities, but there's also a lot of skills, because and for example, everything nowadays on the work floor is on working in teams, and in working in international teams. And I know that most students don't like to work in teams, because there are always students that are a bit lazy, and others are more ambitious, and there's always tensions inside the student teams. But in this, and these kind of things are addressed a lot in all those workshops: how to communicate, how to take some sort of a leadership in a team, how to what are the intercultural problems that might arise, how can you profit from each other in an interdisciplinary team, how do you communicate with your client, with your supervisor, etc., etc. So it's also, the focus is also on those skills that are very important in the 21st century right now.
Yeah, and I thought about your question a little bit more, and I think what I can explicitly say is that I've gained a lot of more knowledge on how to get where I want to get, and also you learn by doing. So just apply for an internship, just do something, just take the job, or just do the thing and see whether you like it or not. But you have to be proactive, and I think it's a mindset that you also learn on how to approach these things, what to do, and how to get where you want to get. So it's also a lot of things, and what Sipke also said with the skills, it teaches you the roadmap, and kind of the roadmap on where you want to get and how to get there, using your various skills and creating a bit of a mindset. So
okay, that's exactly what I was hoping for. So thank you.
And for example, when you apply, when you want to do this team assignment, then we immediately use the skills that you learn. So you have to apply for the team assignment, and you have to write a motivation letter. I mean, everybody will be somewhere selected for one of the teams, and mostly it's in 99% it's for the first choice. But we want that you learn this to present yourself, and we send these letters also to to the client, so that they already know who you are, etc. And for example, just like a LinkedIn page, almost everybody has a LinkedIn page nowadays, but well, maybe or maybe 50%. I have also a LinkedIn page for many years, but if you have this workshop, then you learn really, okay, it's very important how you present yourself. What's your vision and who are you? And that's a thing that you're confronted with constantly. Yeah, pitch with fellow students about who you are, and yeah, if you have 1 minute in the elevator with a possible employee, and you have to present yourself, how to present yourself, what are your main ambitions, or what's your vision? So these kind of things that you learn with all those workshops, and I think that's why in the end of the career minor, most students at least know what Caroline is stating, how to get somewhere, what to do for this. And because they developed a broader idea about not only the labor market and the skills, but also about the job hunting skills, but also about their own personality and what they can, what they like, etc., etc.
So, are there any more questions, big or small, practical questions, personal questions? You can also post them in the chat if you rather do that. It's also fine.
Maybe it might be relevant to stress a bit how's the time divided within the Humanities at Work and the theme. So Humanities at Work is the first 2 days. Mostly it's something like 2 hours in the morning workshop and 3 hours in the afternoon workshop, or maybe there's a lecture in the morning and a workshop in the afternoon. It's something like 4 or 5 hours each day, and the themes are sometimes a bit more time consuming because there are field trips. So you have to go for peace and security, for example. We go to a military base. That's 1 day, and then we go in the train at 6 o'clock, and we come back maybe at 8 o'clock in the evening. And if we go to the Ministry of Defense and Foreign Affairs and Intelligence Services, etc., in The Hague, then we're for 2 days over there. So you have to reckon with this if you have some side jobs, etc. That it's not full time, but it is 4 days, and you don't have too much room within the day. You don't have to do a lot of things in the evening, like Elena stated. But yeah, you can't have a job in the daytime. I think, at least not between 9 and 4.
The workload shifts a bit. Well, the workload shifts a lot because normally in regular university style, you're not going to university that much, but you're studying a lot at home, you're reading a lot at home. And now the workload shifts to like the daytime and on university on site, and where you're busy practically doing stuff. And then in the afternoon where you're going home, sometimes earlier, sometimes a bit later. It depends. But when you're home regularly, you don't have to do that much. Sometimes you have to prepare a bit, read a bit for the next day. But most of the time, when you're home, you're done. So the workload shifts from doing a lot of things alone at home to doing a lot of things together at university.
It's like a real job, and that's why we're preparing you for your career. It's more or less like having a job.
And like Sipke said, it isn't very convenient it's not very possible if you have a job during the daytime, but I also had a side job next to it in the weekends. And so it is perfectly possible to do things aside. You just have to not plan them during the daytime, during the most of the days of the week. So that's it. Anyone else still has a question of something that's still unclear, or that someone missed, or
So normally there's something like between 40 and 50 students in the career minor, split up between the three teams. 60 is the maximum at this moment. So and it's really interdisciplinary. They can also be students from outside faculty. So that's the general setting. And if there are more than 60 students, then we have to look if we want more. But at this moment, 60 is the maximum, because we really want smaller groups, because we have a lot of interactive workshops. And if you have, let's say, 60 people, then we also already have 2 workshops on the same topic. So we split up the group into 2 groups of 30. But till now, it was all mostly 20 or 25, and that's doable. 30 is already too much. Then we have to organize the workshop 3 times.
so the theme you're in general you're about with maximum of 20 persons. So three themes. So 3 times 20 makes 60 for a maximum in general. There's not a vast, not a strict maximum. Then I guess, Sipke, do you have something more to add, or something that we have forgotten to tell?
No. Of course, I'm promoting it last time. I think it's a very good choice if you want to join the career minor, because it's quite different from what you used, and you can do an extra minor on specific contents, etc. But you can also read a few books. I think this is very specific, and also looking to the practical assignments. That's of course my personal idea about it. You can always go on an internship. You can do it in the holidays. You can do it in your 4th year, but you will not have the chance to work in a team for a real client in the future. So I would always, if people ask me what kind of practical assignment I would do, if you have to choose between an internship and a team assignment, I would always advise you to go for the team assignment. Because that will not be something that you will be exposed in the rest of your study. And internship is always built in also in the master phase of your study, I think.
Yeah, you learn a lot of practical things, and a wide variety of tools and skills to use later on in your life, and when you're applying for jobs and doing stuff. I think I really enjoyed doing it. I actually wanted to go to Madrid, where I got accepted to the university, but that wasn't an option anymore due to Corona. But I also wanted to do the career minor, because it also seemed really interesting to me, and I'm really glad I did. I met a lot of new people that I still hang out with today, and I learned very much. So I do recommend.
Yeah, that's, I think, a very interesting aspect you mentioned, Caroline, because you're always the whole day, more or less, with the same group for 2 days at least, and sometimes for 4 days if you're on the same team. There are really a lot of friendships.
Yeah, also relationships sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun, and yeah, you get to know a lot of fun people and interesting people. So then I think if there are no more last questions, then this is about it. So yes, the presentation will be on the website soon. So if you want to look at it one more time or use the links that are on it, you can go on the website. And then I wish you a lot of good luck with choosing your minor. And if you choose for the career minor, then we see each other in August, I think. Sigrid, do you have anything more to say, to add? otherwise.
I would just say thank you, being in the lead, Caroline, for giving this presentation.
Then we're at the end. Thank you so much for participating and for watching, and good luck with your choice.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you.